kick off the hearing. Okay, we are live at this time. Will all sergeants please start their recordings?
Computer recording started.
Thank you. Recording to the cloud underway. And good afternoon and welcome to today's committee vote on land use. At this time, will all members please turn on their cameras for verification purposes and silence your cell phones to minimize disruptions. Thank you for your cooperation. Chair Salamanca, we're ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant of Arms. Good afternoon and welcome to the Committee on Land Use. I am Councilmember Rafael Salamanca, Chair of this committee. I want to welcome my esteemed colleagues who have joined us today. We've been joined by Council Members Hanks, Barron, Botcher, Brooke Powers, Kagan, Christian, Lewis, Moya, Richardson, Jordan, Rivera, Sanchez, and Minority Leader Borelli. I would like to thank Chair Lewis and Chair Riley for their work on our two subcommittees. Today, we will vote on a number of applications referred out for our two subcommittees. But before we begin, I would like to recognize the committee counsel to review the hearing procedures.
Thank you, Chair Salamanca. I am Arthur Ha, counsel to this committee. Council members who would like to ask questions or make remarks should use the Zoom raise hand function. The raise hand button should appear at the bottom of your participant panel. Chair Salamanca or I will then recognize members to speak. We ask that you please be patient. If any technical difficulties arise, Chair Salamanca will now continue with today's agenda items.
Thank you, Council. Today, we will vote to approve LUs 1, the site selection and acquisition of real property located at 188 West 230th Street in the Bronx for use as a new NYPD Bronx Special Victims Unit squad facility. The property is located in the council district represented by Councilmember Sanchez. We will also vote to approve LU2, the Landmarks Reservation Commission's designation of the lobby of 200 Madison Avenue as an interior landmark. The landmark site is located in the council district represented by Majority Leader Powers. We will vote to approve with modifications pre-considers LUs 3 and 4 related to property at 749 Van Sinderen Avenue in Councilmember Barron's district in Brooklyn. The proposal seeks a zoning map amendment to change a M1-1 to a C4-4L zoning district and a related zoning text amendment to map an MIH area to facilitate a new affordable housing development. Our modifications would be to strike MIH option 2 and add the deep affordability option. We will also vote to approve pre-considered LUs 7 related to 99-07 Astoria Boulevard proposal in Councilmember Moya's district in Queens. The proposal seeks a zoning map amendment to establish a C2-3 commercial overlay within an R3-2 zoning district to facilitate the development of a one-story commercial building. We will also vote to approve with modifications pre-considers LUs 8 and 9 related to 2892 Northern Avenue rezoning proposal in Chair Lewis's district in Brooklyn. This proposal seeks a zoning map amendment to rezone an existing R3-2 district to an R6B/C2-4, R7A, and an R7A/C2-4 districts, and a related zoning text amendment to establish an MIH program area. These actions will facilitate the development of an 8-story mixed-use building. Our modifications will be to strike MIH option 2 and add deep affordability option. We will also vote to approve the modifications pre-considers LUs 10 and 11 for the 2134 Coyle Street rezoning proposal in Councilmember Narcisse's district in Brooklyn. The applicant seeks a zoning map amendment to change an R4-C1-2 zoning district to an R6A/C2-4 zoning district and a related zoning text amendment to map an MIH program area. These actions will facilitate the development of a new 5-story mixed-use building. A modification will be to strike MIH option 2 and add the deep affordability option. Finally, we will also vote to approve a modification pre-considers LUs 12, the citywide open restaurant zoning text amendment. This text amendment would remove from the zoning resolution sidewalk cafe regulations found in Article 1, Chapter 4 of the zoning resolution and modify related sections. This proposal would facilitate the creation of a permanent open restaurants program following authorizing legislation by the City Council and subsequent rulemaking by a designated agency. Our modifications will be to remove the Department of Transportation as the designated agency for subsequent rulemaking and implementation of the program, and will make clear that provisions related to serving customers outside a building from inside a restaurant are also continents on council authorizing legislation. We have heard the many concerns about the outdoor dining program, and I know Chair Velasquez is taking very serious those questions as the council works to craft the legislation to create permanent outdoor dining programs. But it's also clear to New Yorkers that the outdoor dining program has helped save local business across all New York City neighborhoods and thousands of jobs. So we have to make sure that this program succeeds. Council members who have questions or remarks should use the raise hand button now. Are there any members who wish to speak or have any questions or remarks? I recognize Councilmember Botcher.
Thank you, Chair Salamanca. I just voted on the zoning for restaurants at the zoning subcommittee, and I'm voting for it again in this committee. And I'll say what I said at the last committee, and that is that this zoning amendment is not the bill to codify a future open dining program. That's going to be negotiated in the coming weeks with legislation by Consumer Affairs Committee Chair Velasquez. I've been on the phone with Council Land Use a lot over the last 24 hours, along with some of my local community board folks, to address some of the concerns with the language in the zoning text amendment. And in the coming weeks, when we negotiate the actual program, my goal is to help find a solution that keeps what people really like about outdoor dining while doing away with some of the elements that have been really problematic about the temporary program. So I'll be voting aye on that action.
Thank you, Council Member. Are there any other members who wish to speak? All right, seeing none, I now call on a vote in accordance with the recommendations of the
Chair.
subcommittee. Yes.
Mr. Chair, Councilmember Kagan has a hand raised
Oh, okay. I didn't see. All right, thank you.
to be followed
I
by
recognize.
Councilmember Sanchez.
All right, perfect. I apologize for that. Councilmember Kagan.
Thank you for this opportunity, Chair. Thank you to all my colleagues. And I understand that today we are not voting for an actual law that will make all of these new regulations and will decide who is enforcing new rules, and that in the future council can vote for a law, beautiful and wonderful law that will take into consideration all of these quality of life concerns, all of these sanitation issues, all of these fire safety issues, ADA accessibility issues, and many other concerns by my constituents and many other constituents. But judging by the city record of enforcing existing regulations, existing today, rules and regulations that exist today are like almost universally not enforceable. And it's not just about this program, but even for like talking about vendors and many other programs. And I talked to 3 community boards in my district, and all 3 are unanimously against this proposal. And I talked to many constituents, and I'm definitely sympathetic to the plight of restaurants. And I understand the need for open restaurants programs, especially during the pandemic. It saved a lot of jobs, and I would like to promote these jobs in restaurants. But I'm planning to vote no today, because I strongly believe that we cannot just kick the can and wait for a new beautiful law that will solve all constituent problems, quality of life concerns. We need to act now. I'm voting no.
Thank you, member. Thank you, Councilmember Kagan. I recognize Councilmember Sanchez.
Thank you, Chair. So I first want to speak in support of the NYPD Special Victim Unit siting in my district. This is going to be a location that is going to upgrade facilities and allow for more humane services to victims of domestic violence in the Bronx. It's also going to allow for separate entrances for the victims and the accused. And it's going to be an up-to-date facility in an appropriate location. So I want to speak in support. And then second, just to follow on Councilmember Botcher's statement, understanding that the nuts and bolts and the details of policy changes with respect to the open restaurants program will be handled legislatively. I will also be planning to vote in support today of the text amendment to facilitate that process. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Sanchez. Council, are there any other hands raised?
No, Chair, I see no other members with questions, comments.
Thank you. So I will now call for a vote in accordance with the recommendations of the subcommittees, and note that a vote on aye on all will be to adopt the following: approves LUs 1, 2, and 7, and to approve with modifications as I've described, LUs 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Good afternoon, William Martin, Committee Clerk, Roll Call Vote Committee on Land Use. All items are coupled. Chair Salamanca.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Moya.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Rivera.
Permission to explain my vote?
Councilmember Rivera to explain her vote.
Thank you, Chair Salamanca. I think we all know that the pandemic provided opportunities for ingenuity out of necessity. The necessity to think about our outdoor space and how we use our streets and sidewalks in new and exciting ways. Expanding space for diners to enjoy restaurants and gather safely in public is one of those opportunities. But still, without enforceable rules, thorough regulation, and comprehensive oversight, we also saw that this new use of space could narrow our sidewalks, making them more difficult for pedestrians to navigate. It could limit space for garbage collection, create new and varied accessibility issues, and stir up the attendant noise and quality of life concerns that often come with busy street life. The modification on this text amendment will give City Council the opportunity to review the city's previous sidewalk cafe program and the current emergency outdoor dining program, and develop a holistic, responsible system for restaurants to utilize outdoor space that accounts for the multiple factors involved in changes to our streetscapes, including and especially how those changes impact neighbors, while supporting valued small businesses and community members. Overall, this program proved vital to our beloved restaurants, and it deserves this opportunity to be improved. With that, I vote aye on this modification and look forward to continuing to work together on the authorizing legislation, and vote aye on all.
Thank you. Lewis.
I vote aye on all.
Thank you. Riley. Councilmember Riley. We'll come back, Councilmember. It seems to be an audio issue. I'll come back to you. Councilmember Brooks Powers.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Botcher.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Hanks.
Aye on all.
Thank you. Kagan.
I just wanted clarification. We're voting only on zoning amendment or on other zoning proposals as well?
Councilmember Kagan, I can't hear you. Can you repeat that, please?
I'm saying, I just wanted to clarify, are we voting only on this zoning text amendment regarding open restaurants program, or are we voting for some other issues on agenda as well?
We're voting on various applications. And the zoning tax amendment for open restaurants is one of them.
Okay, got it. So I'm voting no on a zoning amendment regarding open restaurants issue, and I'm voting yes, aye on everything else.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Got it. Councilmember Riley?
I don't know.
Thank you, sir. Krishnan?
Aye on all.
Thank you. One moment. Councilmember Mealy? Councilmember Sanchez?
Aye on all.
Thank you. Borelli?
I vote aye, thank you.
One moment. Okay, today's land use vote, all items have been adopted by the committee by a vote of 12 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and no abstentions, with land use item number 12 being adopted by the committee with 11 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. I would like to thank the members of the public, my colleagues, land use, and other council staff, and the Sergeant at Arms who are attending today's meeting.